Josh King, welcome to Australia. First impressions?
Intense. No, everything is good. Just getting used to driving on the correct side of the road and getting my sleep up to par.
I'm reliably told that you keep a relatively close eye on the NBL, including the final series last year, and you've had an association with a couple of players from the NBL. Can you expand on that? What do you remember from the final series last year, and who have you coached and who have you had an association with?
Well, I think it was Game 3, McVeigh hitting the shot. Crazy shot. And then he had another opportunity, I think, in Game 4, and then Deladova had one in Game 5. I particularly remember the series because we were getting Ariel Hukporti to come to Ludwigsburg, and there was a deadline of March 31st. That's when the final game was. I think it was Easter Sunday, so kept a close eye on that. I wanted the series to be over quickly so we could get Ariel to Ludwigsburg quickly, but a lot of players that are in the NBL currently, I've either coached or seen play in the BBL in Germany. So I've watched a lot of games. Had Sam Wardenberg in Ludwigsburg. Obviously McVeigh, when he came over and played in Heidelberg, that was their first game right out of the FIBA break. So Jordan Crawford, who's at Tassie, who I think that'll actually be the first game I actually coach in. We play against him. Coached him his first time in Europe. So have kept an eye on the league for a long time.
You clearly know your Australian basketball. How does it compare to, and the game style, how does it compare to that of the European teams that you've coached in the European leagues that you've coached in?
Well, I think the NBL is got its own style, like any league. The best way I can describe it is, to me, it's if you put Europe in a bottle and you put the NBA in a bottle and you shook it up, the NBL would pop out. It's an exciting brand of basketball. The league does an unbelievable job of marketing the league. It's an easy league to watch because of the tempo. And again, my mornings in Germany and recently in Turkey, you pop on the YouTube and there's an NBL game on. So I've always just had an eye on the league.
Let's talk specifically about the Phoenix. What attracted you about the Phoenix?
Well, first off, just the league itself. I've always had an eye on the league. I've always wanted to have an opportunity to coach in the league. So when I actually got the phone call to see if there would be a possibility of coming here, I was ecstatic because it's kind of been in the back of my mind, dream to be in this league. So then a city, the city like Melbourne, where it's a basketball town, it's a sports town. It's got everything you want, and I think from what I can see so far and tell, and from afar, Southeast Melbourne is just itching to have high-level success, and there's no reason why they can't have that.
Looking at your CV, you spent a bit of time under legendary coach John Patrick. What lessons did you take from him, and are there lessons to this day that you implement from John?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I've said this, I think John is the best defensive coach in the world. He should be maybe now Australian rules football defensive coordinator, but definitely American football defensive coordinator. But obviously that side of the ball is always an emphasis. If you play defense, you can always have a chance to win games. That's one thing I took from him. Team play. Basketball is a team game. Obviously, it's a bunch of individuals, and you need players to perform well, but team play where everybody can have their night, and that's how it's going to be when you have so many different players on the team.
You mentioned it there. You preach a pretty strong emphasis on defense, and that's what we know on you. But pace on offense. Is there a reason you're so strong on those two?
Yeah, I think being different. Now everybody says they want to play fast, they want to play tempo, but back in the day, I think it was more of a slower pace game. But just being different on both sides of the ball, I think that's what we're looking for here in Southeast. We want to be different than any other team, and that's high intensity on defense, but also on the offensive end, we want to play with pace and tempo and put a lot of stress on the other team's defense as well.
For the next few weeks, your first few weeks in the chair, what are you hoping to imprint on this side?
Hopefully, just building. We've got a really good roster. We've got really good players. These guys know how to play the game. Just putting my own little touches on a couple of things, specifically on the defensive side of the ball, but giving the guys confidence to play their game. That'll be my biggest thing to start off.
By all accounts, you're a really high energy coach. Yeah. How important is that to you to, I guess, maintain those high energy levels when you're on the floor?
Well, I think it's, if you want your teams to play with high energy, if you want them to play with tempo and pace and be disruptive on defense, I don't think you can not be high energy coach. So if I'm going to ask them to be high energy, I think I have to be. It's natural for me, but and it's not so natural maybe for somebody, but that's kind of my job, is to get these guys going. So if I want them to perform at a high level every day, then I think I have to bring it myself.
Last couple, your former players, how would they describe Josh King as the head coach?
Passionate, intense, and I hope they, know that. And I think they would say, for the most, at the end of the day, he's going to try to get the best out of the player.
And let's flip that on its head. How would Josh King describe Josh King as a head coach?
A little crazy, in a good way. Again, I'm going to hold the players accountable because that's what they need. I think it's my job as a coach to try to get the best out of each and every one of the guys. And if I don't think they're at the level they should be, I'll let them know about it. But again, I want them to be their best.
Last one, how excited are you for November 1 when your feet touch the floor and you're the head coach of the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix?
I'm jacked up. Let's go.